situation?
I think it's kind of jacked up that they're not going to lose their championship in terms of the AP. I think they deserve to lose it. They don't get the 2 year ban for players who weren't involved really. How it's something that happened like '04 and like OJ Mayo and things of that sort. How come they can't lose their championship?
I think that it really is messed up that the players that they're currently, even though the juniors and the seniors, they have the opportunity to transfer, but I still think even the freshmen and sophomore, they didn't have anything to do with this whole scandal. So for them to be penalized and punished, and you got to think from a postseason ban, you got to think about it. Most NFL scouts put a premium on those bowl games. That's where a lot of the players that are coming out, they make a name for themselves. So you're literally, the players that aren't able to participate in it at USC, they literally, if you if you don't have the opportunity to play in that game, you could lose millions of dollars.
But do you think they should keep their championship for the '04 season in terms of the AP?
Considering that college football is considered an amateur sport, and then you make a ruling that Reggie Bush is no longer an amateur because he received special benefits, I think you should take away the championship.
To be honest with you, they take it away or not, they're always going to be remembered as the national champion.
Yeah.
That's just like how Michigan is in college basketball. You're not supposed to talk about them, and they didn't go to the Final Fours and all that, but everybody knows. I mean, that's the reason I started wearing baggy shorts. Everyone knows that. But as far as with the USC situation, I mean, that also had a big impact as far as the alignment that's going on from the Big 12. What you guys think about that? What you think about that, Ray?
What do I think about what? I'm sorry.
With the Big 12 going on with the alignment trying to get to the Pac-10.
Well, I'm glad the Big 12 is staying together for the simple fact that Oklahoma, Texas, that's a rivalry. Texas Tech, Texas, it's a rivalry. Kansas State, Kansas is a rivalry. I think you would have broke up a good conference just for financial purposes. I didn't agree with it all. I'm glad they're staying together. In Texas, they're the cash cow of that conference, and they deserve everything they get.
I mean, I thought the reason why they even had the big talk in terms of taking people from the Big 12 to the Pac-10 is I think behind the scenes, I think the Pac-10 found out that USC was going to get that suspension kind of early. And I think that, they said, okay, well, USC's our moneymaker, so let's go and get like the Texas and the Oklahomas and Oklahoma State because they're big football programs and they can make that money.
That's an interesting conspiracy theory, Wally. But I think that, me personally, I have a problem with, you say that college athletics is not about money. You say it's about student athletes competing and the honor and all this other BS. But then again, you have the presidents of these universities and of these leagues. They're going out and they're trying to realign just for money. So let's keep it real. Either it's not about the money or it is about the money. And if it is about the money, I think that the players should get some type of compensation because you're literally making millions and millions of dollars off of these players' hard work. And don't feed me the BS that school and board is enough payment for them because it's not.
To take the hand off of what you was just saying, Will, the greed in athletics that's going on right now as far as in college. I mean, we're talking coaches getting lured away to NBA for dollars. Schools getting lured away from conferences. I mean, and we're not even talking about lower level conferences. We're talking about BCS conferences getting lured away for money. I mean, how do you think the greed that's going on in college sports right now? I mean, what you guys think about that? I mean, look at the coaches, schools, but yet and still, an athlete can't even get really any money from a school for the millions he produces.
I think an athlete won't be as hungry if he gets paid in college, though, to be honest with you. Even though I like your point, I'm just saying, I think if you're getting paid a nice salary, and how do you determine the salaries?
I think you need to prorate it for every player that's on the team.
You can't really do that because the thing about it's a catch-22 with paying the athlete. I mean, it's almost. I mean, I hate to use the underworld lingo that I know. That's just like in the pimp game. It's so hard to tax on a pimp. You don't know how much he's getting paid. So how can you legalize, pimping? But it's almost something similar. You can't determine.
Like Graham Harrell in college, he's not in the NFL, but in college, he would throw 6 touchdowns. He could say, "I'm worthy of getting paid."
I want my Peyton Manning money.
It's gonna be contract disputes.
How much would they have to pay Tim Tebow when he was at Florida?
Oh my God!
No, y'all
he started his own church.
Y'all are making very valid points, but at the same time, I think that
the little rubber bands around his wrist.
I think that college, like, you have to to gauge it, you have to evenly distribute it between each player. No one player gets more money than the other one. Even though that's not fair, but I think that's the only logical way you could do it at this time. I think these players generate hundreds of millions of dollars. Look at the revenue they make from the ticket sales, the TV contract, and the merchandising. You got to think about it. You go out there and you look in the college stand. Even though your name might not necessarily be on the back of that jersey, but there's thousands of people in the stands with your jersey on, and you don't see any of that money. You don't see that money when you're in college, nor do you see that money when you graduate.
Well, the point you're making is a valid one, but at the same time, the thing about it is the politics that goes along with that as far as paying an athlete. I mean, the one basic rule as far as amateurs has always been, okay, if you get paid for what you do, you're not an amateur anymore. You become a professional.
They're not. They aren't amateurs.
But, I mean, they aren't amateurs in the perspective that what they do, but they're professionals as far as not being paid. I mean, they travel like professionals. They train like professionals, but they just aren't being paid.
They're still being compensated. It's people that say that a college scholarship and room and board is compensation.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying what people are labeling it as. But we're going to jump into a commercial break. We're about to get out of control. I think I'm trying to go back to college just so I can get paid. I think I got some seasons left on my knees for baseball for you, Ray.
I just want to say that USC's program is like the studio. It's hot.
Before we get to that commercial break, we need the NAACP to fight for the MEACs and black schools to get into a BCS. Can we get some black colleges in the big bowl game? That's all I'm talking about. I need to go to a real homecoming for UMES.
When crime prevention is your life, your days don't stay quiet for long. What did I tell you? My name? McGruff the Crime Dog. I wear a trench coat.
McGruff, I need help.
That was a concerned citizen. And boy, did she sound concerned.
I'm very concerned.
What did I tell you?
Someone took out a loan in my name. They're pretending to be me and spending my money. I can't understand.
It's called
how
identity
this can
theft,
happen.
and it's growing fast. Safeguard your personal information, like your Social Security, credit card, or bank account numbers. On the phone, online, even around the house, because half of identity theft occurs by someone you think you know. Learn more from the National Crime Prevention Council at ncpc.org. Take it from McGruff. Keep your identity to yourself and take a bite out of crime.
A message from this station, the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Welcome back to the Urban Sports Scene, boy. During the commercial break, we had a lot to talk about as far as cookies and some nuts and some chocolate chips that's going on in the world.
Butter Crunch.
But let's get into what's going on with athletes right now, like professionally football players, man. It's like football players broke right now. Everybody wants some money. I mean, have you guys heard about Revis?
He wants his hair transplant. It's thinning.
Everybody want their cut with a potential lockout coming up.
Well, I know you got that Revis cut over there for us.
Yeah, hold on. We have it here. It's a couple minutes. Darrelle Revis has some interesting things to say, and here it goes right now.
Do you consider the economy at all? You know, the country's in a recession. There's 10% unemployment. If you could put it in sports terms, ESPN Zone just went out of business this week. I mean, it's a bad time in the country. You ever say to yourself, you know, maybe I don't need to be on Nambiasa more because there's a lot of people hurting out there?
That has nothing to do with football right now. You're talking about a whole different subject. We know the economy's bad. We know all of that. The Raiders didn't think that about Nomney.
Well, that was a different economy.
Yeah, but still, that's just a different subject that it doesn't need to be talked about. This is an uncapped year this year. Did you know that?
Yeah, but that if the country's going through a bad economy, it's going to impact football, and there hasn't been a lot of free spending around the league, and everyone thought teams would go crazy this year in an uncapped year.
Well,
it didn't seem to happen.
Well, people got different opinions, and we'll go from there. You know, Patrick Willis got paid. A couple other people got paid. So The decision is